Okay. Hi, I am Renee Quillen. I just recently got married November 18th, and uh, I just wanted to talk a little bit about why I chose the surgery I chose, what I'm all about. This is the first time I will have ever done anything like this. I've never blogged about anything, never vlogged, if you will, about anything. And I apologize if I may skip around or act a little strange. So, anyway. Anyway, a little bit about me. And I wrote it on a paper because, yeah, I get sidetracked really easy. Okay. I am 35 years old and I have been big my entire life. A lot of people can tell you, like, why they're big. They can pinpoint it to some kind of eating disorder or some kind of emotional thing that happened to them as a child. However, I really can't pinpoint any one thing except my genes. And I've spent the better part of my life surrounded by skinny people who can eat and eat and eat and never gain a pound. So, I do overeat occasionally, but who doesn't? I am not an emotional eater, so I could scratch that off the list. I would say my biggest issue is that I don't eat. So that's just about as bad. I'm trying to get in the habit of eating every couple hours because I know as soon as I have my weight loss surgery, that's what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to eat very small meals every few hours throughout the day. I do not have any comorbidities. I did just recently start retaining some water, like around last summer sometime, but everything's okay with my heart. I just had an echo about a week or so ago and everything's fine. It's just I'm big and I'm retaining fluid. So there's that. A little bit about my surgery and who's going to perform it. I live in Southwest Kansas, so I am going to Amarillo, Texas, and Dr. Michael Cameron Hodges is performing my surgery. The procedure I'm getting is called, it's kind of hard to explain. A lot of people will call it SIPS. A lot of people will call it SADIS. Some people call it a DS Loop or a modified DS. Essentially, it's the easiest way to explain it is that it's a modified DS in that in a traditional DS surgery, a biliopancreatic diversion with a duodenal switch, a typical duodenal switch, your common channel length is 75 to 150 centimeters. In a modified DS, it's going to be anywhere from 250 to 300. So you're still getting a little bit of malabsorption, but you're not as malabsorbed so that you can absorb nutrition better and you don't have the issues and the problems associated with a traditional DS. Although in a traditional DS, you have at least 95% of your excess weight is gone forever. And it is the tried and true method. I know a lot of people will say that gastric bypass or RNY is the gold standard. And it has been for a while, but after doing the research that I've done, I've been wanting weight loss surgery for about 14 years. So I've looked it up enough to know the difference between all of them. Basically, you have your sleeve, or VSG, as some people call it. and they just basically cut about 75% of your stomach out, and that's it. You get the restriction, but you're not malabsorbed. So you may have to take some vitamins, but it's not as bad as, or you won't have to take as many vitamins as you would like in a traditional bypass or what, or DS or SIPS or SADIS or whatever you want to call it. I would say the next step up from the just a regular sleeve would be a gastric bypass or the SADIS procedure, which SADIS has not been, or SIPS, or whatever you want to call it. It hasn't been done in the US for very long. It has been done in Spain for, I think the last time I read it was a little over 10 years. So the data here is relatively new, but the results so far have been good. DS is the, I don't want to say most invasive because that's not the right word, but it is the most malabsorptive, if I'm saying that right. Anyway, but yeah, that's why I chose this. Basically, I didn't think that I could trust myself good enough to be on a strict vitamin regimen and a strict, high fat diet like you would in a traditional DS. So that's why I chose this surgery. The reason why I chose surgery is because here's a little bit of my background. Back when I was 21, which was about 14 years ago, I weighed in at 420 pounds. Yeah. When I was 11 years old, you go to gym class and they have the physical education tests that you have to do, and you have to weigh in or whatever it is. I weighed in for the first time over 200 pounds at 209, and I will never forget that day. Anyway, back to when I was 21. Sorry. See, I skip around a lot. So I was 21 and I went to the doctor and I was 420 pounds, which that's about what I am right now. My body just for whatever reason wants to be around 400 pounds and I don't know why. Anyway, so went there and my doctor was like, have you ever considered gastric bypass? Of course, back then, gastric bypass was the big thing. And I had never even heard of it. Well, then I started researching it. And it turns out insurance back in the day even wouldn't even cover it. So I just kind of threw that out the window for a while. And then shortly after my first husband left and I had gotten up to 500 pounds at that point, I figured, well, I got to do something. Whatever it is, I got to do something. I ain't got no kids. I don't have anything to do. I had PCOS. So one of my friends talked me into going to the gym with her. So I went. I worked out 5 days a week, 2 hours every day for over a year. Got down to 245 pounds. And surprise, you're pregnant at 27 years old. Yeah. I thought I could never get pregnant. So, of course, after that, I had to stop going to the gym. Well, I didn't have to stop going to the gym, but my pregnancy with my first one was so bad that I couldn't. I couldn't make it to the gym. I was exhausted all the time. I was working 2 jobs. And then when I was 3 months pregnant with my daughter, the guy that I was staying with, he was my boyfriend at the time, whatever. He was the one that got me pregnant. We separated. His name was on the house that we were staying at. And so he basically kicked me out when I was 3 months pregnant. Great. So here I am, 27 years old and alone and pregnant. So I start putting back on weight, of course, because what do you do when you're pregnant? You eat. And it seemed like eating was the only thing that seemed to help with the feeling bad and feeling nauseous all the time. It was like as long as I had something in my stomach, it was okay. So, anyway, enough of that. So, of course, I gained weight, and then I got pregnant with my son, and I gained more weight, but luckily I'm not back up to 500 pounds, but I'm still stuck around 400. Anyway, so one of the reasons why I'm doing this video, if I haven't already said, I've never done anything like this before in my life. I don't like seeing myself in pictures. I don't like looking in the mirror. I'm forcing myself to do this. I need to have something as a before. I need to have that. And I recently saw one of the girls that I follow in our there's many different support groups on Facebook and stuff. I recently saw one of her videos, and I've been following her, and also there's really not a whole lot of YouTubers out there that have had the SIPS or SADIS or DS Loop or how modified DS, however you want to put it. There's really not a whole lot of people out there. I think I've seen only 2 or 3. So I want to do this so that you can kind of see. Here's my spare tire, if you will, my legs. I'm kind of sitting on one of them, sorry. Anyway, so that's my body. And, and yeah, I have braces too. See, oh, look at that. Yeah. Trying to change my whole body. Not for anybody else. It's all for me. This is what I wanted. I'm doing it to myself. I like to put myself through torture. But I'm hoping to, do these video updates, I don't know, once every couple weeks. Right now, I'm sitting at 2.5 weeks pre-op. That means I'm going to have my surgery on March 6th. Right now, it is Valentine's Day. My husband is not here. See, he's not there. I'm in my bedroom right now. He works at the sheriff's department. So he works nights sometimes, and sometimes he works days. So tonight, I'm all by myself. The kids are in bed. So that's why I'm doing this video. And if you want to comment, ask if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. I'm an open book. I think that's all I have. So yeah. Until next time, I'm hoping that maybe the day or 2 before surgery, I'm hoping to post another video just to, as kind of like a relief, because I'm going to be on this 2-week, pre-op liver shrinking diet where you get to do nothing but liquids. So yeah, that's going to be fun. Anyway, I'm going to say goodbye for now, and I will see you next time. Bye!